All right, a decision has been made. I decided to go to the Rahmat International Wildlife Museum, if that's the full name. And I decided I would walk there, which is kind of crazy to be honest. But I do like to explore parts of the city, and it's best to do these things on foot, I find. But I'm definitely going to be hot and sweaty and a bit nutty by the time I get there, just because of the walking conditions here. But hey, a little small adventure for today. I'm also not exactly full of energy. I don't know what to blame it on. It could be any one of the meals I had, or avocado ice cream things I had, or ice cream sodas, or sugarcane juice, or anything that I've eaten or drunk in the last little while. But as often happens to me, I got really sick. So I'm on like day 8 of being ill. I stopped eating, which is my pretty much only way of dealing with this kind of thing. Hello, how are you? And today is day 4 of no food at all. The last few days I haven't even been able to go outside. I can't leave a bathroom basically. And the only solution to that is to stop eating. So I stopped eating a few days ago. As I said, 3 days, no food at all, nothing. And today is day 4. I won't eat today either. And that could put me on edge a little bit. And zap my energy reserves. Crazy intersection here, as always. A lot of traffic. It's a Saturday today. But very, very busy. And as I mentioned, right beside the museum is what I'm told is the largest Buddhist temple in Medan. Looks quite interesting. So after the museum, I'm going to drop by the temple. And I did have plans to also drop by a restaurant or a cafe or two, but can't do it. I can't eat or drink anything. I don't dare put anything new into my system because it's going to just start up all over again. Yeah. An interesting geographical feature about Medan is that it has 2 rivers running through it, and these 2 rivers eventually meet, I think. I'd have to confirm that by looking at Google Maps, but I think they do, and you end up with a large piece of the city sitting in between these 2 river systems. And I think I'm walking up on one of the rivers here. There's a bridge going across. I tried on another day to walk along the river because riversides are always quite interesting, but there was no way to do it. The way buildings and houses here developed, they back onto the river without leaving any place to walk. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So that's one of the rivers there.
Hello, friend.
Hello, how are you? Sure, I can. Yeah, how are you doing? Apa kabar?
Biasa.
Yeah, thank you.
Makasih ya.
Yeah, have a good day.
Ya, jalan ya, selamat jalan ya.
Okay, thank you. I just tried to look up the name of this river, but it's so bright out right now with the sun, I can't read the screen of my smartphone. But yeah, as you can see, it's quite an interesting river, but the riverside itself, you can't really walk along it for very, very far. Yeah. I might, well, I was thinking if I could run across the road, I wouldn't mind seeing the river on that side as well, but yeah, check out the traffic. It's crazy. You're not getting across this road without some trouble. But the river looks kind of the same on that side. Again, there's no way to walk along it.
Hello.
Hello. I'm from Canada. Check this place out. One of the many things you stumble across if you just go walking, according to Google Maps, this is a government office, I guess. It's listed as a agricultural organization. It uses the same name as the Plantation Museum. There's a sign up here. I assume it's part of the government and not a public organization, but I'm not sure. Yeah, looks very, very government-like. Regional office of the Sumatran agricultural organization, but yeah. I don't know if the interior of these buildings reflects the exterior, but when you look at how big these government offices are and how fancy, it seems like they have a lot of money to spend, at least on the core building itself. I don't know if they're modern and expensive on the inside, but the outside is quite impressive. Look at the grounds. That's amazing. Incredible landscaping here. It's really nice. Even side buildings over there, a lot of offices. Kind of gives a hint of just how important agriculture is to the Sumatran economy, North Sumatra anyway. Everywhere you look, you come across more examples of the history of Medan. You know, the architecture of the buildings. This looks to be abandoned and closed, whatever it used to be, but quite a large building. And then behind it, another one. It's got stabbed in the head by a stick. Yeah, there's another interesting building back there. I mean, you look at that and you instantly think colonial, right? If there's ever been a colonial style building, there it is. Ah, I wonder what that is. I checked on Google Maps, but I couldn't figure out what this building could possibly be. Getting closer to it, look at the dome up there. Man, that is something. I don't know if this is the entrance, the front of the building, or the rear, but it's certainly got some major columns. Look at that. Wow. What could this possibly have been? And what is it now? Yeah, there's no signs of any kind here at the front gate. I don't know what it used to be. I seem to be in quite a different neighborhood from the areas of Medan I've been exploring before, and I'm starting to see the name Polonia. And from what I remember, the district of Polonia in Medan is more the sort of the wealthy part of the city. And you certainly get that feeling here. Properties are quite a bit bigger. Oh, this is the Le Polonia Hotel and Convention Center right here. But the whole area just seems a little bit more luxurious. There's more space. It's not like Chinatown and Kesawan, where I've been spending most of my time. And if you're in need of a lot of real estate, a lot of square footage, there you go. For sale, for rent, across the road there. Get yourself a little mansion in Polonia. And right across from the Polonia Convention Center. Ooh. I think I'm about halfway to the museum now. I've got another river to cross, the second river of Medan. And then I'll be near the museum. But as I suspected, I'm already drenched in sweat and I'm running out of energy. But we'll see. I'll soldier on. I guess this is a good example of a Polonia residential district. At least I assume it's residential. You get quite large homes like this with fenced-in yards. Really nice street, nicely paved. And you can see all these large residential buildings. Definitely got some years on them though. It's anybody's guess whether these places are still occupied or not. My guess would be that this one is not, but you never know. It's quite a structure. Still in this district. I'm just about to arrive at the river. Just wanted to comment on more of the architecture and the buildings. Like, look at that one over there. Another good example of all the architecture. Quite a nice looking park over here. PKK, Kota Medan. And look at that across the road. Has to be some sort of a government office or corporate building, headquarters, who knows. Passing all kinds of buildings like that. Fountains, grassy front yards. And, oh, this is the name of the park. Taman Beringen. Taman Beringen. Looks like it's well taken care of. Yeah, nice little park. I think I've arrived at the bridge over the second river. It'll be interesting to see if the riverside looks markedly different from the other riverside back in my neighborhood. It's like a much smaller river right now, perhaps. Not as wide, not as much water. But yeah, I think it would be equally difficult to try and walk alongside the river. I don't think you could really. Wouldn't get very far. So that was the one of the main things I liked about the city of Padang, that they were quite lucky. They had rivers going through the city, but through some quirk of their history or a decision by city councils over the years, I don't know how it happened, but they just happened to end up with really nice open trails and small pathways going right alongside the river. So the river's really added to, you know, the atmosphere of the town. You could actually go walking along the river, ride your bike along the river. But in many other cities, you know, they have rivers like this, but they're completely cut off. All right, I've arrived just a few feet away from the Rahmat International Wildlife Museum and Gallery. And based on the condition of my body and mind, not a moment too soon. Ay, ay, ay. All right, here we are. And as the sign says, they have a fantastic and amazing collection. Right there. Huh. So there's the building. Look at that. I had a vague feeling that I'd been to this museum before, but now that I'm here, I realize, no, I've never been here before. This is brand new to me. So I remember going to a wildlife exhibit with, butterflies and insects, but it was at a university. That's the one I think that I'm remembering. I've never been here before. The only one in Asia with 2,600 species from all over the world. Here we are. I found the ticket booth, the loket. So here are the prices. Indonesian, 75. And children, perhaps 30,000. And tourists, international people like me, 150,000. And this looks to be the main entrance right here. Okay.
This is your coupon. You can change this coupon at the cafe.
Okay.
Cafe at the inside.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm all set. And she said something about this coupon. I can exchange it for something on the inside, but I don't know what for. I guess this will all become clear as I go through the place. I believe this museum and gallery belongs to one person, or it is the result of, founded by one person, and he is described as a sport hunter, but with a strong emphasis on conservation and ethical hunting or something like that. So I think this plaque kind of tries to get that across, so that they're emphasizing that they get awards for education, for conservation, biology, tourism, and dedicated for the prevention of extinction of the world's wildlife. So in terms of the hunting, they're pointing out legal hunting trips with the SCI concept of conservation, animals which died in zoos, donations and gifts, and legal purchases. So they're trying to make it very clear that any animal trophies in there were hunted or preserved or acquired legally and in a way that protects wildlife. Hello? I do. Thank you. inside the Rahmat Museum now. I've just gone through the lobby area and then the first room here, which is really quite interesting. Behind me there, you see the exhibit of what they call the Big Five of Africa: elephant and rhino and lions and the buffalo, leopard. I think those are the Big Five. Maybe I'm missing one. Is hippo one of the Big Five? But there's no hippo there. And in other parts of the room, after the Big Five area, and they have a display of wolf and coyote and animals like that, and really quite nice. And on the opposite side of the room, the world of ducks. The longer you stand here, the more birds you see. You never really seem to run out of them. And inside the lobby area, they start off with a display of deer. Made me feel right at home as soon as I walked in. This could have been a selection of animals from Canada, of course, deer and bobcat, things like that. And what I really like, up here on the wall, all of the insects, spiders, butterflies, moths, things like that. So I'm leaving the first room, heading into room number 2, and looks like there's a reptile room coming up. And then right here, cats of the world. So I got a variety of cats behind me there. And it's kind of funny. You stand here and then you start looking around, and these animals are a lot closer than you realize, So you turn around and you've got all of those creatures. Well, they look like they're ready to pounce. And this is the reptile room. Just wanted to get a shot of me with the crocodiles. You can sort of get a sense of the scale of them, just how big they are. Another room designed for a Canadian. Polar bears, grizzly bears, I guess, brown bears, and everything you might find in the Canadian wilderness. Wolverine, I think we've got a wolverine down there. Almost didn't notice this big guy back there in the corner.
Polar bears have a very sharp sense of smell. They can smell the remains of a whale or seal from a distance of 20 miles. Polar bears are excellent swimmers because they can swim as far as 60 miles without stopping. They use their front limbs to swim and their hind limbs as rudders. The oil glands in their skin can oil their fur so that it is waterproof and keeps their body dry while swimming.
And over here they have a night safari of some kind, and it seems to involve a lot of sound as well.
Black bear, America. This shaggy animal sometimes
a lot bigger in the night safari than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be a small tunnel. Looks like they have like timers or motion sensors to turn lights on occasionally, just so you get a better look or you can see where you're going. I thought a light would, whoa. Yeah, that took me by surprise. I was expecting it and it still scared me. Orangutan up there. The one that really scared me was this lion right here. And after the night safari comes the nature room. And this guy is here to greet you as soon as you come through the door. That's kind of cool. They have the whole exhibit here set up as if the mountain goats are actually on a mountain, right in a circular courtyard of the building. One interesting thing about seeing animals in this way is you really get a sense of how big they are, which I don't think you would get in any other way. Because here I am standing in front of this one, and you probably don't get a sense of it in the video or if you're watching an animal show on TV. But this thing is huge, so much bigger than I am. Yeah, you really get a sense of the scale of some of these animals. Follow the stairs up onto the second floor. And yeah, some very impressive specimens up here. I was talking about how you get a sense of how large these animals can be. And then some of the moose and antelope and deer behind me. Yeah, you really get a sense of how big they are.
Adult tapers can have
And up here on the second floor, they have a separate section for animals from Indonesia, Indonesian species.
Nose is always kept close to the ground when walking.
Tapir and
Tapers
the
rely more on smell
orangutan, of course.
their lives. Some
Probably the most
experts
famous
say that
animal
this
from
animal
Sumatra.
has the unique thing is in the number of toes. On the front feet of tapirs, there are 4 toes, while on
And it
the
looks
back
like the next
feet, there
major
are
room
only
is the one over there with all the insects.
When they are small,
One interesting characteristic of this gallery or this museum, whatever you want to call it, is that they do mix up a lot of the species because they just have to use the space to the best of their abilities. So here in this room, we've got all of the, the butterflies and moths and insects, that you can see all around me. It's another big, series of cases over here. But then right in the middle of the room, because there happens to be a nice, convenient spot for it, we suddenly have skeletons of elephants and other creatures like that. So you've got, you know, the butterflies and beetles, and then you've got the elephant at the same time. And another area that they have up on the second floor is, it looks like it's sort of a children's play area and maybe educational center. I'm pretty sure these 3 bears over here were meant for selfies and Instagram shots. And then they have some tables here for children and a souvenir shop, plushy animals and things like that. And I've seen this guy's photograph all over the place. So I'm pretty sure he is the founder and owner of this museum and gallery. And up here, the big guys continue. You even have a moose in here. Right beside some kangaroo, some tigers, lions, and a muskox. So as I said, this wildlife center does tend to mix up their animals quite a bit. They just basically they clump them all together, no matter what country they're from or what part of the world or what species. It's just more of a collection of animals than like sort of not really an educational center so much as just having all of these animals on display. I think this wall, as you start to head towards the exit, gives you an idea of a little bit of an oddness to this place, being a wildlife center, and yet this entire section is devoted to celebrities and pop stars like Schwarzenegger, sports celebrities. Maybe they visited this place and that's why they're on display, you know, Maradona, Ronaldo. Maybe they actually came here to the wildlife exhibit. Beckham. But then we've got some movies, you know, Empire Strikes Back, Star Trek, you know, Batman, Spider-Man. So it's sort of an odd thing to have in the middle of your wildlife exhibit. But I get the idea that the founder of this place and the owner is a little bit of a larger than life character. I don't know why I say that, but if this place is a sort of a reflection of his personality, he's got to be a bit of an exuberant kind of fellow. But interesting to visit. It would be very enjoyable for kids, I think, to see all these different animals on display. I think it would be quite interesting. Anyway, I think I'm heading towards the exit now, and I'm going to head back out into the city, I think, at any minute. And just to complete the tour, I guess, I should point out that they do have a restaurant and a cafe here, which looks to be quite nice. And I think with your ticket, you get a coupon and you can get something to eat or drink inside this restaurant, something like that. All right, that's it for the Rahmat Wildlife Museum and Gallery. You can see a bit of the building behind me. The cafe was no longer open. It's getting close to closing time at 5 o'clock, so the cafe is shut down. But with your ticket, that coupon they gave you, they give you a souvenir. So I was given a notepad, which is kind of nice. A Rahmat International Wildlife Museum and Gallery notepad. I thought the coupon got you a coffee or a drink, but you get a souvenir from the museum.